harsh reality is that 90% of traders will fail. Trading is ruthless. Fight like hell to be the 10%. Now, I know that seems like a really high failure rate, but to be honest, in business in general, the failure rate is very high. When I started my trading journey, I saw this everywhere, 90% fail, but I was so obsessed with the market and so obsessed with trading, and it was something that really had my interest that I looked past that and I told myself, I'm going to do whatever it takes to be that 10%. And even though this number is thrown out everywhere, I do believe that that number is high because of a few reasons, and I want to go over that in this video. So let's talk about some of those topics, and then I'll end with an Elon Musk quote that I really like. So obviously 90% of traders fail. There's a lot of people that talk about this. It can be very intimidating. That's a really high failure rate. It scares a lot of people away from the market. But there's a few main reasons why I think that's the case. And the first one is that people try to get rich quick. They see a lot of people on social media posting big gains, and then they think that that's possible, and not only possible, but quick. So AMC, GME going to the moon, I'm going to buy a ton of calls. I want to get rich really fast, and that's obviously the wrong approach when it comes to the market. So that really is just kind of a psychology and a mentality that when going in, if you're thinking about getting rich quick, you're probably going to end up in that 90% failure rate category. So obviously when you want to go into it, I know that it's a very money-oriented thing, but when it comes to making money, it's a slow and steady progress. And now the next one is that a lot of people don't take it serious. They really just wake up every day. They don't really have a game plan. They don't have a process, and they just wing it. And even though you can get lucky a few times doing that, that's not how you last long term. In order for this to really work out, you have to approach it as a very serious business. You don't mess around. You're not going to gamble. You're not trying to get rich quick. You're not going to take huge, massive risk. And you're going to be able to come up with a process and a system that works for you, which takes a long time. And the next one is that a lot of people try to make trading their only source of income. I can't tell you how difficult that is. It's always good to have numerous sources of income, even if the other things are small, just so that way there's not a ton of stress to have to make a full-time living out of the market. I know social media is guilty of making it seem like that's the only way to go about trading, but I do not believe that at all. I think trading, even if you're making a lot of money, you should always have another source of income, so that way you can alleviate some of the stress. So those are some of the main reasons why I think traders fail. I know there's a lot more, but just some of the main ones that I'm going to touch on. They try to get rich quick, they don't take it serious, and they really want it to be their only source of income. If you can change your mentality slightly, I think that you have a much better chance of succeeding. So even though that failure rate is still really high, I want to end with an Elon Musk quote. When something is important enough, you do it even if the odds are not in your favor. So just going back to my story, when I first found trading, I was completely and utterly obsessed with it. It was the only thing that I thought about. So even though I knew that the chances of failing were pretty high, I thought it was worth taking the risk rather than having regret. So that was a quick video on the topic of 90% of traders fail. Hopefully you got some value from the video. Feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. I just want to talk about a couple cool things that I have to offer. The first is going to be my newsletter watch list. This is exactly what I post on my private Twitter 30 minutes before market open every single day. I do a quick analysis of the overall market, the SPY and the Qs, if there's any major market news that day, and then all the stocks I'm interested in watching, it's usually 4 or 5, if there's any major news tied to them, and all the levels that I think are in play. To the left, this is exactly what I'm posting on my private Twitter. I make sure to add that newsletter. I take a screenshot of the charts, green line to the upside being long, red line to the downside being short, and I make sure to highlight those 2 levels above. This is everything that's going on in my mind and my game plan going into each market open. Also, I make sure to add a little mental note because every day is slightly different, and here's an example of that. And if you want something that's a little bit less of a commitment, I do offer a live one-on-one call for 1 hour. This is where you can ask me questions about my journey, go over setups specifically, everything that I've gone through as a trader. Whether you're beginner or advanced, this is a great way to connect with me. So if you're interested in my private Twitter or the one-on-one live call, feel free to go to callmattdiamond.com or check out the links in the description below.